Okay, guys, here's the reality. All right, I've done everything, and it's a long list of things. Okay, showing all your hidden devices in Device Manager, getting rid of all the Hyper-V network interface cards, shutting down and disabling all Hyper-V services, going into the core isolation memory and disabling that, making sure SVM, which was that acronym that I told you that is enabling virtualization for AMD processor, okay? And what else? Going into group policies and disabling what's it called? Device guard, okay? Running command CMD commands to shut off hypervisor, and going into PowerShell to do the same thing, okay? All right, and gone through miles and miles and miles until, you know what? I just typed this in just right now. While AMD Ryzen processor generally support nested VMs, there can be issues depending on the virtualization software and specific configurations. Now, this is some bullshit, okay? Now, as time goes on, okay, one of the things you learn about the human species, okay, all right, is history will repeat itself always because people are always trying to lie and get over, all right? This type of statement, okay, saying there can be issues, is literally clearly stating I need to go back to Intel processor, okay, all right? And it's not VMware's fault, okay, on this scenario. And I guarantee you, when I replace my motherboard and put an Intel processor in this computer, okay, meaning that I've replaced everything in this computer at some point, right? Okay, meaning at that point, all right, it will be a machine I built myself. Right? I mean, literally, okay, because that's the last thing. And it works. That tells you right there, AMD can't even do virtualization, man. This is ridiculous. Now, one or two things is going to happen. One, either I'm going to get a VGA monitor first, okay, all right, or I'm going to get a new processor, motherboard, and processor, which I need to now go out and do research for to find out how much it's going to cost, okay, and go from there, okay. Because obviously, most likely, I'm going to be buying it from a place like Newegg, okay. Not Best Buy motherboards, because their motherboards are going to be limited, okay. But at some point, if I can get virtualization to work, okay, with a basic board and processor, that in itself is a milestone, okay. All right. Here's the thing, guys. Spending a week of my time researching something, okay, has its benefits. It has its benefits from the reason why, because I used to be an AMD person across the board, okay, but the level of disabling features that I had to go through for this problem is unacceptable, okay, and I mean unacceptable to the point that every time I go into system information, okay, it says, even though I've done everything that 10 people has told me to do, okay, all right, which most of it is the same, and you'll get one, everybody has their little thing, different thing that they add on to it, okay, all right, and I still have detection of a hypervisor, which that needs to be disabled, okay, even to the point where I have to go in to my BIOS and disable secure lock, okay, from a, which it doesn't even give you the option to disable, is you changing secure lock from the operating system of Windows to OS or other OS, okay, which mine was already set to other OS as well, because that was the last thing I was like, okay, I probably have a secure lock enabled in BIOS, and it wasn't even enabled. Okay, but it's not saying that it's disabled when you choose other operating system as an option. All right, even in the description, it doesn't even discuss that. So it's like, all right. So here's the reality. Okay, where the hell is my damn BIOS book? Okay, when you actually give me an actual a complete built computer. Okay, now I can download it online. Yes, I can do that. All right. Okay, but here's the reality. I guarantee you the documentation is not even going to talk about that. But I'm going to go there and I'm going to actually read about it anyway. All right. The reason why I went from AMD, okay, because I was a hardcore AMD fan for a while, and the only reason why I went from that is because I ended up deciding one year. I think I just did it on a whim, and the floating point was astronomically amazing. The way that that processor responded, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm never going back to AMD ever. Okay, and I meant that. Okay, but I wasn't even focused on the processor when I bought this thing anyway, because it really was a temporary computer. But if I'm going to replace the motherboard and the processor, it's going to be it's no longer going to be temporary, because I have literally did a custom build with this. Okay, the only thing I didn't get to choose is the case, and the case is badass. So I'm good with it. So now, I'm not going to make this mistake again, because this is that bullshit right here. Okay, all right, we're in 2025, guys. This is an AMD Ryzen processor, and you're having issues with nested VMs. What the hell? Okay. Now, here's the cool thing. All right. The server here that I have might have RAM in it. Okay. If it doesn't, I'm going to take that thing apart and take a look at it and see what kind of RAM I need. Buy that. Okay. And max that out, and which is going to be cheap because it's an old server. All right. And then from there, I am going to get a VGA monitor. Which, here's the thing. Okay. I tried to get one. All right, but I am not kidding you guys. I don't know how the hell you people go out there. Well, I mean you people. I mean people who in general. Okay, I don't know how you people go out and use Facebook Market, because I'm telling you, never have I successfully gotten a response back, or have not been asked for money up front because it's a scam with anything on Facebook Marketplace. Okay? Dude, I'm done with it. Alright? For many good reasons, I don't have the time. Okay? As a matter of fact, and I don't want to go to eBay because eBay always has issues. But I can go to Amazon. I didn't even think about that. So I'll probably go in there and try to find me a VGA monitor and just order it today. And it'll be delivered. So I don't have to worry about going to Best Buy or anything like that to see if I can find one. Okay? Because I doubt if I'm going to find one. Because it's legacy technology now. All right? That's what I'm going to end up doing. So, and they do have these like little small ones for like 10-inch monitors, which would be perfect because I could just sit it on top of the monitor. I mean, sit it on top of the server. But, they're kind of pricey. I mean, you're talking about 10 inches here, and you're charging me the money that you're charging me because it's a 10-inch monitor. And that's just like backwards. All right, you're supposed to be charging me money because it's a 30-inch monitor, not because it's 10. But I get it. Okay, it's one of those things where if you really want a 10-inch monitor, you're gonna pay the price, right? So, nonetheless, that's where we're at, guys. So I'm going to try to get my server up and running. Okay. And from there, I am going to try to get a VGA monitor and see what we can do there and put the actual bare metal free version on there, see if that works. The problem with the bare monitor, the free version is, okay, now keep in mind, if I'd never said that I was going to go check out Kevin Wallace, I would have never even known about the free version. Okay? And this actually is helpful because if I would have paid $200 for it and VMware still wouldn't have worked, I would have been mad as shit. But Obviously, if the free version has a bare metal, obviously the paid one would too. Now, with the free version, you can only use 5 nodes. All right, if you watch that Kevin Wallace video, he'll explain that to you. Okay, and I think the paid version gives you 20 nodes. Can I do simple labs with 5 routers? Absolutely. Okay. Now I can't do like showing you how a distant vector can go as much as 15 hops, and anything past 15 hops does not go into the routing table. I can't show you that because I can't build 16 routers with a free version. But once I get the free version to work, then I can go pay for the 20 node version, and then I can show you one of the powers of running a tunnel and how a tunnel can allow you to go past 15 hops. Because when you create a tunnel, all right, wherever you create that tunnel, let's say at the 15th hop router, okay, now that route is +1 minus 15 hops. Okay, you are at the 15th router creating a tunnel there, and now you got another 50. That means you got 30 hops you can go down. Create another tunnel at the 15 hops. Now you got another 15. Does that make sense? That's the power of a tunnel, because that logical interface is literally telling you, hey, this used to be 16 hops away. Now it's 1. Okay, and now it's going to my routing table. The power of tunnels. Okay, but nonetheless, I think I really found out what my issue is now, based on the keywords that I have put in the top. Okay, all right. Anytime you read this, there can be some issues. All right. Here's the bullshit, because, like I said, everybody lies. Everyone tries to blame everybody else. Okay, and in reality, there can be some issues, means that your AMD Ryzen so-called awesome processor can't do nested VMs. Okay, whether this is related to your model of your processor, or regardless, something's going on with that processor, okay, that can't handle it. All right, that's why VMware keeps giving me that error, and that's why VirtualBox won't work with any of these versions where I need nested VMs to work. Okay? All right, so now I know my problem is the AMD processor. But at least I got a solution. Okay? It took me a week, but hey, let me tell you something. All right? A week is nothing compared to other issues I've had in my IT days that have taken way longer than that. So, the thing is, when you do this, you have to have a certain mentality to do research at this level, okay? Because we're talking about hours a day, every day, until you figure out what's going on. Sometimes you're taking up your entire day being on forums, trying things, rebooting, and doing registry edits and all that stuff. And I've done that with that, and nothing's worked. It will not, even though it's not even enabled. Hyper-V is disabled. Then how is it still detected? What the hell? Now, the only other thing I could try to do, seriously, which I just thought of, is reload Windows from scratch. Delete the actual version of there. Because remember, this Windows here, even though I gave it a new product key to go, and I had to do that too. I had to buy a product key to go from home version to pro version so I can get the actual device guard in my group policies. And what's funny is it created an extra administrative template. So I don't even know if that's a conflict, if I'm even disabling the actual hypervisor. Okay, or the device guard. I don't even know if I'm doing that. So the only way to do this is to actually reload Windows and put the product key in before I actually do it. And I might do that next. You never know. I might fix the problem. Okay, maybe there's some software config. And you also got to understand, when you're getting software or operating system that's coming from a manufacturer, I mean, technically, the first thing you should do anyway is reload Windows, to be honest. But nonetheless, be strong, be determined, be Cisco, and this problem has come to a conclusion. I just can't fix it at the moment. All right, see ya.